Hello everybody, this is Grandmaster Maxim Dlugy with Game of the Week from the London Chess Classic, and today we had a very exciting round. Hikaru Nakamura beat Vishy Anand in a very nice game, and we'll take a look at that as the Game of the Week. Meanwhile, a quick look at the most exciting game of the round where mistakes were found by both sides. The second highest rated in the world, Topalov against former number 2 Caruana, and in this position white played Queen e2 when actually after knight takes e5 it would be quite an interesting battle for the pawn. Black gets some activity, but it's not that clear. And after Queen e2, I think it went downhill for Topalov initially. Here, after some of these moves, Black was already with a good bind on the position, as White couldn't castle to the king side because of this weak h pawn. And if White castled to the queen side, then of course Black would get some serious initiative. And it seemed that White would actually start crawling around with the king, but instead Topalov, who is 0-2 in the tournament, decided to take it down the chance lane and said, "Look, I'm going to try, even though it's scary. I'm going to castle queen side, and whatever happens, happens." So from this point on, Black was much better, and a few moves later, in this position, I think this was a major important moment where Caruana could have played c6, just kept all of his advantage. Instead, he locked it up with b4 and allowed knight d5. And as soon as he did that, it became quite interesting to see how he's going to convert his big advantage. Knight d7 and knight e8 were possible, but after knight d7, knight e1, all of a sudden, Fabiano got cold feet, got scared of this attacking idea f4, and said, "Hey, get rid of this knight on d5." But of course, at this point, White can take the bishop on e6, and this created a very interesting position where I thought Black still had slightly better chances if he played a4 to basically solidify his advantage on one of the sides of the board. Instead, Fabiano went rook f8, and after bishop c2, a4 was not playable, the knight was hanging, and Black was in trouble. Many moves later, we got to this position when I thought White is completely winning after the simple queen d6, followed by c5, bishop a4, and all these pawns are going to hang, and White is going to win. Instead, Topalov went for a very strange way of playing. He wasted some time, and later on in the game, we got to another amazing position. Here, White started this amazing plan, the simple plan of just moving the king to g2, and then slowly improving his position to a win. And Fabiano came up with the most fabulous trap I've seen in the last few months. He played rook c8, allowing White to win the exchange with bishop a6. Now, White doesn't actually have to do it. White could just play king d2, king e2, as per his plan, but he couldn't resist. Topalov couldn't resist. He went for bishop a6, and after bishop takes rook, all of a sudden Black's pawns became very, very strong, and that was enough to finally secure a draw. You'll take a look at that game and you'll be amazed at how many chances Black had. But I just wanted to show you one very important position, which is this. And here, Black could have drawn very quickly by simply playing queen c3 check, and after after White played king e2, simply h5. This was the best way of playing, and of course this would have secured the draw very quickly, because now White cannot avoid the perpetual check unless he plays g4, but in this case Black will just play let's say b3, and the pawn can't be stopped. So this didn't happen. Fabiano misplayed it, but still managed to save a slightly worse endgame after that. And now on to our game of the week, game of the day, that is, Nakamura Anand. Let's take a look. Okay, so initially it seemed like Nakamura is not going to repeat the Catalan, which he used to beat Anand on previous occasion, but he did, and Anand played the same way, but now Nakamura diverged and played queen c2, a rare move. But with an